Hello, hello, hello. Waiting for some people to hop on. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, so today we are going to focus on setting the attention through your energy work. So what that means is focusing on the how and of what it really means to achieve your more, right? So during this session and during our next embodiment session, I want you to really focus on clarifying your more, what it means to have more. What is that desire inside of you that is making you want to be alive? And what do you have to do to get there? Okay. Um, so today we're going to start with the intention setting and then we're going to break it down. So overall, we're going to focus on feeling sensual and free. You saw that in the activation activity with the sensual ceremony. And then we're going to lead into how to ultimately use your energy work and use your energy as your primary source so that you can create abundance and pleasure and understanding that it is your birthright. So let's dive in. As intention, right? So, as intention is a desire, we have to understand that we are primary caregivers to that, right? So, we were constantly given this idea of imagination, right? So, having access to something higher than the president of the freaking United States and knowing that that coexistence that we have in the universe actually comes from us and understanding that we create everything we desire, right? So we have to banish the fears, we have to banish the expectations, the societal norms, and understanding that we have to create the joy no matter what the circumstances is. And understanding that faith is trusting when nothing makes sense. I was looking at the chat. Yes, exactly. So faith is trusting when nothing makes sense. And life isn't about finding yourself, but it's about creating yourself. So visualization is where everything starts. And that's kind of what you guys are talking about in the chat right now is this idea of how do you really create, right? How do you really use your energy? And you can do that in several different ways. The first one is journaling. So understanding the powerful intention, right? Understanding that not all of your intentions are made equally, and some of them are more of a priority than others. And the way you write them down, the way you manifest them, the way that you see them is actually going to be the way that you perceive them and make them your reality. So, for instance, if you have a goal and you want to desire money, right? You can write something like, I want to make at least $2,000 this month. Whereas if you're like, I just don't want to be broke, the only thing your brain hears is broke, right? So our brain has what I call no words. And what that means is that if you say don't, can't, um, I want, I need, like all of those are words of desperation and words of like needing rather than desiring. So your brain is only going to hear that words after. So if you're like, I don't want to be broke, it's going to hear broke. So what happens? Exactly. You're going to constantly be broke. Whereas if you're like, I desire at least $500 a month, your brain is going to pick up on that and it's going to be like, okay, this is what she desires. This is what he desires. This is what we're going to make its reality. And then understanding that removing all of those limiting phrases, like I've mentioned, the at least, it's possible, I need, I want, it's could happen, right? Like you have to talk with confidence as if it actually is going to happen. So I'm just going through the chat real quick. So many lovely faces. Yes, 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 yes. So The way that I love to manifest, and we're actually going to dive into this when you guys do the activation activities, is we are going to use your body as a manifestation tool. And I'll dive into that when we dive into the activations at the end. So let's dive into what it means to actually have the energy work and finding your energy, because everyone has this innate energy inside of them that they are constantly being told not to use, right? Especially as women. So as women, we're constantly told, play small, say yes, don't be loud, don't be in trouble, be the good girl, don't cry, don't do this, and all the things. And we learn to harness and manipulate that emotion and that energy. And what we're doing is we're actually dwindling and like dulling our internal flame, whereas we actually need to ignite it. We need to give it permission to shine. We need to give it permission to erupt. And we need to give it permission to ignite us inside. And when you ignite that energy, you start to carry yourself different. Your chakras start to be balanced. And one way that you can simply ignite this internal flame is by like hovering your hands above your head. So by putting your hands above your head and just simply going like this, it allows you to awaken your internal body. So by doing this, you're opening up all of your chakras from the ground up, and it's going to be moving that energy through your body, through your head, through your crown chakra, and you can feel your energy changing. You can feel your blood flowing. And oftentimes, our personal energy is centered in one chakra. So I highly recommend looking into your human designs. This is something that I do with my one-on-one clients. We do human design readings all the time so that I can make a personalized, custom tailored approach for our work together. And your human design will tell you what your defined areas are. So for me, my defined areas are my sacral chakra, my root chakra, and my throat chakra. So what that means is communication, vocal expression, sexual energy, and also just being internal and personal and grounded are my defined chakras. So that is where most of my potent energy is held. So oftentimes, knowing where that chakra is located and knowing the energy that's associated with that chakra, you're going to be able to move the energy and use that as your superpower. Does that make sense? See, yes, yes, yes. I see thumbs up. Love it. Then the next one that you can do is I call it like the pull of light. So picture your energy as like a bright beam that runs through you from your head to your toes. And ask yourself, like, what color is it? How does it make you feel? Take some, like, try to take some of it from, oh, from your center and bring it to your hands, right? So manipulate it, visualize it, feel it, and then bring it back to your center and see how it feels again, right? So having this internal light go through you and really visualizing it allows you to rewire your brain and associate those emotions with that color. So then every time you see that color, you start to feel that emotion. So for me, it's blue. I love blue. Blue is calming. When I wear blue, I literally feel at peace. So what I try to do is I try to have a lot of blue around me. Does that make sense? Yeah. Let me look through the chat. So much engagement today. I am obsessed with it. Yeah. So these are some of the exercises. Exactly. So Crystal asked, do these implement into our activity sessions at home? Yes. So these are going to be a part of your activation sessions. And again, we'll dive into that a little bit later when I go more in depth with it. But ultimately, what you're doing is you're going to connect to your higher self. So if you communicate with your higher self, you often will start to get an image of who she is, who he is, who they are, the source of power, where they're coming from. And when you tap into that, you're able to visualize your higher self as the primary source. you're able to visualize your higher self becoming one with you and really becoming this physical being of this light so that you can then concentrate on that light color that we just talked about and really being able to manifest it and create it and internalize it as your reality. So ultimately, what you're going to do is you're going to use the energy sources around you, right? Water, earth, sun, crystal, stone, sage, plants, fire. It doesn't really matter. But using those certain sources, depending on which ones resonate with you more, will allow you to have more potent energy, which will allow you to have more access to your higher self. And again, your activity sessions for this week and next week will have you tap into what your internal source is and what your energy sources are stemmed from too. So we will dive more into that. But also, like using your energy sources, it is important that you don't rely on them, right? It's important to master your body, master your life, and really hone in on the practices that we have been doing over the entire 4 weeks, because there are going to be situations where you're not going to be able to use them, right? So if you constantly like go to meditation to calm you down, you might be in a situation where you're not going to be able to meditate. So you always have to have like a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, so that you're able to do things in different situations. So never just have one, right? I kind of think of it like a tool belt. Have your tool belt, you have the different tools, and then depending on your situation, circumstance, and what you need that tool for will dictate what tool you actually use. So if you just checking the chat. Okay. So yeah, so water, right? So I'll break down the elements right now. So water it cleanses you, right? So for me, I like to take shower cleanses. What that means is I'm in the shower in a quiet meditative state and I just let it wash the negative thoughts, the negative emotions away from me. So cleansing both of your hands, washing both of your hands clears your energy. So simply just being in water or around water will give you a more natural flowy state. And this is why we collect rainwater, right? This is why the moon is made of water. This is why most of Earth is made of water, is because water has the attention for us to remember. And it's flowy. It allows you freedom to move through your day. Then the sun is the reason that gives you the charge. So when you are in the sun, you're getting vitamin D. It charges your chakras. It gives you the advantage to move through your day. It gives you the advantage to reignite that internal flame, right? So a lot of times if you're indoors, all you have to do is get out and go to sunlight and your oxytocin, your serotonin levels, they automatically improve, which means your mood's going to be happier. You're going to have more energy. You're going to be more vibrant. You're going to be more glowy and more awake and more bright. So the sun is for a recharge, water is for freedom. And then fire is the flame and smoke, right? So these are my sage lovers, my Palo Santos lovers. And this is for drawing energy, collecting energy, clearing energy, right? So lighting a sage, lighting a candle, lighting incense, this draws energy to you, right? It gives you energy that you don't have. So if you're unable to go outside because it's a rainy day, which I still recommend doing, just simply cleaning the air, cleaning your house, cleaning your office with smoke and fire and candles and sage will help you bring in more new positive energy. And then the last three are earth crystals and plants. So the earth source gives you the power to harness your natural energy, right? Your internal flame. Be you, manifest you, create a life you desire for you, by you, and to you. By doing that, you have to be able to live in your natural source, meaning showing up real, raw, authentic, unapologetic, not giving a flying fuck what you're going to have to say, what you're going to have to do, who's going to be inspired by you, who's going to be compelled by you, who's going to be turned off by you. Like, it doesn't matter. You have to show up in your natural state. And that is what earth gives you. So just being in nature gives you time to get in touch with your natural energy. And then the crystals. So crystals and stones. these are going to draw the energy and program you to help aid you in moments of illness. So I'm not talking about medical illness. I'm not talking about mental health illness. I'm talking about illness of spirituality, illness of being in touch with who you desire to be, right? So the crystals are kind of like your battery source, right? So you charge your crystals, the crystals charge you. You charge your phone has life. The crystals is your life source to kind of help aid you in any moments of weakness. And then lastly are the plants. So the plants are excellent for guidance. They're a power source. They are magical. They are life. They replenish you with all that you need. And so just simply being in nature, again, being around plants, again, will replenish you to be able to tap into your natural state, which is what we want. We want to be able to live a life that is about creating ourselves, not finding ourselves. We want to live a life where we have joy, no matter what the circumstance is. Okay. So let's see if we have any questions. Yeah, yeah. So let me dive into that. We have so many questions about the activation. Activities, there's week. They're golden. So activation number 1. I'm actually going to share my screen with you so that you can see it. Let's go. Okay. So this is week 3. This is the one you should have received in your emails already. If you haven't, let me know, reach out to me, and I will make sure you get access to it. You can also check the junk folder, because I noticed some people had emails going to their junk or spam folder. So make sure you're always checking that if you're not getting your emails. But this week, we're focusing on being sensual and free. So what that means is you're going to have a journal prompt where you are going to dive in and discuss what your more is, right? How would you describe your relationship with your sensuality? Is it something that you barter for? Is it something that you feel secured in? Is it something that you're not really sure of? Do you feel safe to express it fully? Do you feel like you can't? What stops you, right? Really tap into that. And I'm not talking about your sexual activity or how many partners you've had. Like, I'm talking about how do you feel as you? How do you feel as a sensual being? How do you feel just moving and flowing with your pleasures and with your desires? The extra stuff is just an added bonus that stems from that. It's an extension of it, but it's not the full primary surface of what sensuality means. So this is the journal prompt. If you want to share your answers with me, please do share it with the group. We can work through it. But this is really going to give you like an idea of what your sensuality means to you and where you kind of start with it. Then you're going to dive into the sensual ceremony. So the sensual ceremony is going to set you up as if you're taking yourself on a date, right? So you're going to set up an intentional meal with yourself. It doesn't matter if it's like a real meal, it could be breakfast, it could be lunch, it could be a fruit platter, it doesn't really matter, but eat slowly. Be in a deep presence, right? Close your eyes when you chew, light candles, buy yourself flowers, like take the extra step to make a really romantic ambiance, right? Romanticize your meal. This is going to allow you to feel safe and secured by being in your own presence, by being alone, by knowing you're worthy enough to be alone, and knowing that your time is valuable enough even when you're alone. So simply just take yourself out on a date. And then obviously, as you know, for a bonus, share it on your Instagram, tag me, tag the hashtag, and it'll be amazing. That's week 3. Now, week 4, you'll receive on Monday. But I'm going to go over it with you just in case, and we'll dive more into it next session. But week 4 is going to be emphasizing on the abundance and pleasure part. So again, you're going to have an extra journal prompt that is going to focus on your relationship with yourself. Are you able to give back to yourself the same way you give to others? Do you feel there are any blocks around abundance and pleasure? And where can you get crystal clear on that, right? So, can you give yourself the same love that you give others, right? And what you're going to do is this is where things are going to start to get spicy, is you're going to do a desired dance. So I invite you to move your body for at least 2 songs. Doesn't matter if you're in the car or in your living room, but I want you to move your body for 2 songs and channel your energy, channel your love, channel money, channel pleasure through your body. Doesn't have to be choreographed and all the things. I just want you to move and flow and let yourself really go inward and feel the longing that you have for those desires. Added bonus is doing this in the mirror and making eye contact with yourself. Okay. And then again, share on Instagram, and we'll dive more into this one next week. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. Today was just super simple, straight to the point, diving deeper into the different energy sources and then going over the activations, because honestly, life is so much more than what we make it out to be. And I want you to really understand that. I want you to really dive into what the creation of yourself means and what the creation of yourself is going to give you in your life and going to provide to your reality. And as a bonus, you're going to get access to my creation course. So I will be sending that in the attached email with this replay. And it's going to be truly epic and truly mind blowing. And there's going to be other manifesting tips inside of that course as well. So if you don't have any more questions, I love you guys, and let's go have a beautiful day.